What's up, everybody? Tyson Roush. Let's talk Jets. Hope everybody had an excellent Monday. It is definitely a long one when the Jets lose 2 in a row in embarrassing fashion. The criticism on social media and the chaos surrounding this team right now is driving everybody crazy, where there's more questions than answers, and you don't really know what to believe or who to believe, and if this team can actually right the ship. So the question I was asked a million times today is, what can the Jets do to turn it around? And that's a really good question, because as a longtime fan, it's like you see a lot of red flags that are alarming, and the same red flags we've seen for the last 2 or 3 years. The Jets 2 years ago were a quarterback away, and that was their win-now team, a quarterback away. Zach Wilson was the guy. They got to find somebody else. Last year, they bring in Aaron Rodgers. Unfortunately, he gets hurt, so you have another year. But you see a lot of bad things, even while they're trying to find ways to win with a lesser quarterback. This year, we buy in. Like, you know what? Everything's falling into place here. Mike Williams, Tyron Smith, Morgan Moses, all these different moves where you start really buying in and believing, especially when you see the joint practices and all the highlights, like Aaron Rodgers, like he's back, chemistry with Garrett Wilson. This offense is going to score 27 points a week. And then the season starts, and it's a complete disappointment, where you start out, the San Francisco game was bad, but you're like, all right, first game for Rodgers, a lot of new pieces here. There's going to be some growing pains. The Tennessee game, the Jets got very lucky. Will Levis let them back in the game with the fumble, the interception. The Patriot game was their showcase game where the Jets acted like they arrived. Rodgers looked amazing, everything fell into place, and they were the talk of the town. And ever since then, they've been a downward spiral where everything is going wrong, and you truly question what is going on with Rodgers and the offense and the head coach. Now, how do you turn this around? And that's a really good question, because to me, it's hard, because my vision of Rodgers is so much different than what we're seeing now. You think you're getting that Hall of Fame quarterback that can make every throw, pinpoint accuracy, a tremendous leader that can elevate this team and overcome incompetent coaching. And what we've seen the last 2 weeks is that's not the case. First of all, he's taken an absolute beating because the offensive line can't block and the coaching staff can't make adjustments. They don't know how to deal with a blitz. And then you see his body language. He looks like he's demoralized, dazed, confused. He's frustrated. And it's like the visions you have of Rodgers now are just, it's so disappointing. Then you see him missing throws that you thought like he could have won the game twice yesterday with throws, and he doesn't make those throws. And you're like, this is supposed to be the Jets' savior, right? This is going to be the guy that's going to get us to the next level, and it's not happening. So you can combat that saying, it's only 5 games. A lot of analysts say the first 4 games of the season are like preseason games, as everybody gets on the same page. But my problem is that it seems like a lot of teams across the NFL are doing a lot more with less, while the Jets make excuses of why things are struggling. And that's my biggest problem with this organization. Like I talked about it yesterday. This organization is too comfortable making excuses, justifying losses, and that is their culture, where everything is fine. Now, right now, the talking point this week is the Jets are one game out of first. Monday Night Football, Buffalo Bills, they beat the Bills. Everything is good. They're back on track. And that's true. But the question is, can they do that based on what we've seen so far? And that's a legitimate concern, because you don't know the Aaron Rodgers we thought we were going to get, right now we're not getting. Can he overcome the injuries and all the bad play around him? Can this coaching staff get their head out of their ass and realize that teams are going to blitz, that you can't run the ball? As bad as you want to run the football, you can't. At some point, you realize that Breece Hall, for whatever reason, not playing like himself, Braylon Allen's got to play more. That you got to use Mike Williams more. You got to use Conklin. You need more, like all the things we talk about. At some point, will the Jets admit what they're doing now is a mistake, stop being so arrogant, and make legitimate changes? And right now, they're going to double down. And that makes next Monday a must-win for this organization. If they don't do it, it is going to be a bona fide problem where you have to fire somebody. That's not just content creator talk. It's just a fact, because I'll keep saying this. I have a feeling this is Aaron Rodgers last year, and I don't blame him, because the wear and tear on his body and the frustration of dealing with the New York market is probably taking a toll on him. So if that's the case, you can't waste another season. The Jets mailed in last year by not getting a backup quarterback. Don't worry about it. Rodgers is back next year. We're going to be fine. You can't keep saying things are fine when they're not. And somebody has to have the spine to hold people accountable and make a change. So this week is going to be interesting. I'm curious to see what kind of leadership role Rodgers takes. You see, there's a lot of disgruntled players. And the thing that resonates with me the most is players are talking about accountability. There's no accountability. People got to be accountable for their actions. Allen Lazard dropping 4 passes is a problem. At some point, there's got to be repercussions for that. There has to be. And there's not. So it's going to be interesting. I think the Jets will do their best to make the Devontae Adams trade happen. And you have to wonder if Adams watched the game last night or yesterday morning and is like, do I even want to play with this team? The second question is, after watching it, does he think they want to win? Or does he think Aaron Rodgers will be even back next year? Does he going to be a 1-year rental, or is it going to be a 2-year deal? Do you want to play with Tyrod next year, or do you want more stability, saying, you know what, I know Derek Carr is going to be at the Saints for the next 3 years? So the Jets will do their best, probably overpay for Devontae Adams to put a deodorant over what's happening now, to try to inspire the fan base, inspire the team, get the media off their back. But you know what? You can have all the playmakers in the world. If you don't know how to properly use them, it doesn't make a difference. And that's my concern. So in terms of can the Jets turn it around? To be honest with you, I hope so. Because I'm so disappointed. I'm so disgusted. I'm tired of watching bad football. I want to watch a team that acts like the rest of the NFL, that can play with anybody like we expected. And right now they're not doing that. So I guess as a fan, you root for it. You want to believe. But the resume is solid, makes you concerned. The resume of Hackett makes you concerned. And the current decline of Rodgers is concerning as well, where you hope that he can step it up and change what we all think is going to happen. Because right now, what we're seeing now is not acceptable. And they're one bad loss away from probably losing the locker room and spiraling out of control. So let me know what you think. Can the Jets turn this around? Can Rodgers turn it around? Are you disappointed? Is this just another one of those seasons for the Jets where you're like, you know what, could have, should have, and didn't happen? Or do they surprise us? You know, and I think if they were playing they're playing better quality football week in and week out, you feel better, but they haven't done it in 5 games. So let me know what you think. I'll talk to you later.